Remember the 50-30-20 rule? There's no way in hell I can use that anymore. I am 26. Just got lectured by my parents, 65, about not saving enough of my money for retirement. They tried to tell me that 50% of my paycheck goes to my needs, 30% goes to my wants, and 20% goes to my savings. What so many boomers fail to understand is that I and so many people I know literally can't afford to put any money away because of how expensive everything is. Rent is taking just about half of my paycheck. Food is expensive. I try to eat healthy, organic and free-range food. And God forbid I have health insurance covered. It's not like I work for a startup company either, not like these would be excusable conditions. For startups as well though, my company can easily afford to pay me and my colleagues more. But every time we ask for a raise we are told there's nothing in the budget for us. It's the typical brag about profits but claim they can't pay their workers more trope we're seeing so often. When are I going to retire? Am I going to retire? How can I save any money? The state of the economic world for workers is really rough. Most people are spending over 50% of their income just for shelter. This rule is completely unrealistic today. Lecture them on failing to pay attention. We're supposed to live in our beater cars, shower at the gym and hustle because we're too old to live at home anymore. Meanwhile, all the big banks which are losing dollar in Russia will probably get a bailout while they ramp up the interest payments on our loans and make passive-aggressive tweets about us eating avocado toast and having $5 coffees like they did last time they failed. We can't eat any damn avocados because they are too expensive and we're making our own coffee if we can afford it. Boomers are not ever going to understand why what worked for them won't work for Gen X, Millennials, or Gen Z. They refuse to get it because the minute they do figure it out, they realize that they are complicit, and nothing is ever their fault. So, anytime either parent uses the phrase, "when you retire," I turn up the sarcasm to 11. Break off the knob and say, "Oh, you think I'll ever be able to retire? That's adorable." As I roll my eyes hard enough they almost fall out of my head. At this point my retirement fund is just awaiting a global apocalypse to take me. It's now the 80-20 rule. 80% of my paycheck goes to my needs. And 20% of my paycheck also goes to my needs. They are completely out of touch with the modern world. I accepted a job paying $20,000 more than I was making, which is still being underpaid for what I do. And the Friday before I was about to start I got an offer for 50% more salary than the new job, which I negotiated over the weekend and accepted on Sunday, then notified my first offer employer 2 hours before open on Monday. I called my parents to give them the great news about how me and my partially disabled wife don't have to live paycheck to paycheck anymore. And they proceeded to berate me for having no integrity, then had the audacity to have my older sister call me and say the same. They don't understand how the world has changed. You can't convince them. They just don't get it. Know your worth and start your own business, side hustle to build wealth. You can only really build wealth working for yourself unless you're lucky. I've never been able to do that. Needs is always like 2/3 RDS of the budget. If I could hold down 2 full-time jobs somehow, at my current income with both, I could manage this. In 2017 I got a great job. Nice starting wage. Got a house. New car. My life was finally starting to come together. At 38, I was able to put a bit back for savings. Nothing big. A few grand over a couple years. But that was more than I'd ever had. This year, Skyrocketing costs have necessitated digging back into that savings to stay afloat, without sacrificing luxuries like, why no, healthy food, 2-ply TP, and brawny paper towels. Love that lumberjack. Eventually it'll run out. And I've been told, several times, that my department is not getting a decent raise cash in. Above the annual 2%. Maddening, isn't it? I'm the tail end of the baby boom. But I stay informed. I'm not sure why they don't. I heard some of the same reasoning from the previous generations, too. I worked once with some guys born in the late teens, early 20s. Previous century. They thought that the only reason poor people couldn't afford health insurance was because they were bad at budgeting, and blew their money on big TVs, dinners out, etc. I think they, silent and boomer generations, see themselves as being self-made, not taking any handouts, because somehow Social Security, subsidized college, and Medicare don't count, and not wanting to see anyone get something for nothing. Enough of a rant from me. All I can do now is vote for change. For someone who understands the real world. And also keep trying to make others my age or older see sense. There is never budget for a raise. Once you have enough experience in your role, then move elsewhere for a pay jump. Boomers forget that even a fucking idiot in their day and age could support a whole ass family on one salary. Now you need degrees and connections just to get a foot in the door. I'm old. I am okay with my daughter living here rent-free because the cost of rent is vile. Oh, she'll move out eventually, but at least when she does she will have some savings. Everything they know is literally 3 to 5 decades out of date. Hell, I'm 40 and my education is 20 years old. 50% goes to my rent. 40% goes to the rest of my needs. And if I'm lucky, then 10% can go to small purchases that help me cope with my crippling environment. 110% of my paycheck goes to my family's needs. I make a little over $2,000 a month after taxes, and my apartment plus utilities cost $1.4K a month. Add in groceries, gas, and insurance, and that's at least 75% of my paycheck gone. Fuck, when do I get to have wants? The system is designed so you can't retire. The pension period was very brief and only captured a small part of the population. They want you to be a good wage slave and consumer until you die.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.